Tonight marks the end of the championship season. Time again to ask, do you know what it takes to be a champion?
I do.
Do you know?
I do.
Do you know what it takes to be a champion?
We do.
Many arrive at state thinking they've got what it takes, but only 2 leave knowing they do.
What does it take?
To be a champion.
Do you know what it takes?
I know.
Last week, O'Day knew. State champs again. And the Chief Sealth girls found out as well.
For the first time in school history, can call themselves Washington State champions.
What does it take to be a champion?
Is it the ability to leap higher than your peers? The Bethel Braves have reached the final game on the slashing moves of Jordan Sutton and the post play of Brandon Moore. Tonight, they want to know what it takes.
What does it take to be a champion?
I know.
Kentwood knew all about being champions 12 months ago. They're 32 minutes away from proving that time hasn't satisfied that championship appetite. The Conquerors are looking to go back-to-back. Do they have what it takes?
We know.
Do you know what it takes to be a champion?
I do.
To be a champion.
What does it take?
To be a champion.
What does it take to be a champion? What does it take?
What does it take?
What does it take?
The face of Garfield girls basketball is head coach Joyce Walker. Last year, the Bulldogs' dreams were dashed in a last-second loss in the championship game. This year, Garfield's mission is to finish with that feeling.
What does it take? I know. I know.
Last night, the Snohomish Panthers stunned tournament favorite University. Now they're on the brink of knowing what it takes.
What does it take to be a champion?
What does it take?
To be a champion.
We know.
There are many champions in this season that crowns only a few. Tonight we celebrate those who've learned exactly what it takes. Then we'll watch and learn all over again. Who can best answer the question?
Do you know what it takes? To be a champion.
What does it take?
To be a champion.
We know.
What does it take to be a champion?
We know.
I know.
Inside the Tacoma Dome, we'll find out who knows what it takes. Tonight, 2 state championships to be awarded, and we start things with the girls for a championship, the Garfield Bulldogs and the Snohomish Panthers. Hi everybody, I'm Rich Waltz along with Elise Woodward. Welcome inside the Tacoma Dome. It's very simple for the Garfield Bulldogs in our first game. Elise, this is all about unfinished business. This was the title they thought they would win last year.
Well, they were favored to win the title last year, and they lost in the state championship game. They've been thinking about it all summer, all winter. Every game is pointed to tonight, and they won it, and they got here. That's the hard part. Now they have to finish it.
Snohomish is 25-1, and yet they really feel like an underdog here, but not when you look up into the seats. In the 4A level, there aren't many cities that have their own high school. Snohomish has one. The entire town is here tonight.
Well, they get a tremendous amount of community support. Ken Roberts, head coach of Snohomish, was just ecstatic when he talked about his community and how much love he feels from them. Over 2,300 fans came out for a couple of games this year, including their big rival Monroe. So they get a ton of support and they love it, and they're all here today looking for that state title.
Snohomish, a great shooting team. They stunned University last night, and Garfield the favorites. Unfinished business for the Bulldogs. We've got Garfield, we've got Snohomish, our first of 2 championships coming up. The WIAA Dairy Farmers of Washington 4A Girls Basketball Championship is brought to you by the Dairy Farmers of Washington, proud sponsors of Washington State High School Athletics. Got milk? Got game right now, Garfield and Snohomish, both teams at 25-1, and we are underway in the Tacoma Dome. Snohomish in the home white, Garfield in their road purple, and Snohomish has the first possession. And they send it inside to Sydney Benson, and she walks. It's a turnover for Snohomish. And Garfield will get the basketball. At least what pace of game, what should we look for tonight?
Well, I think if Garfield comes out and plays the way they want to, this will be up and down and as fast and frenetic as they can possibly make it. Snohomish very good in the half court. They can run a little bit, but really their strength is setting up and executing half court.
This is Malia O'Neal, the mercurial point guard for Garfield. Really a talent. She leans in as the shot clock ran down. Snohomish with the basketball. Neither team has scored on their first possession.
I think one interesting thing to watch here right off the bat, Garfield played with nerves last year in the state title game, and I think that's why they ultimately did not win it. Snohomish has never been here, so it'll be interesting to see how they approach this title game, something they've never been in before.
Tara Angel. And Kristen Moore gets the scoring started for the Panthers.
4 seniors start for the Snohomish Panthers, just 1 junior, a very experienced squad.
O'Neal to the baseline for Samantha Tinnett. And Snohomish with the rebound. Daisha Henderson. This is Henderson. She and O'Neal matched up. In low, Sydney Benson. Missed with the left hand. Samantha Tinnett with the rebound. And here comes Malia O'Neal, the leader of the Bulldogs. Raquel Pringle. Tinnett. And Samantha Tinnett, her first 2. And Garfield has tied the ball game.
And Samantha Tinnett is one of the best scorers from the post you're going to see in the state of Washington. She just is so smooth. Joyce Walker compares her to Sam Perkins.
Lob pass to Emily Cassidy, the glue girl for the Snohomish Ball Club. And Snohomish is on top 4-2. Snohomish last night upsetting University 58-52. And a Garfield turnover. Tara Angel went for 21 points, hit 6 3-pointers, 10 3-pointers for this Panther team, and Garfield cruised by Lewis and Clark. There's a look at Angel, who broke her hand in a ball game in December, had 3 pins inserted in it, played with the hand heavily taped until the start of this state tournament, and last night she went off. There's her first shot. And Cassidy again down low.
Well, Cassidy is undersized. She's just 5'10" down there against Garfield. She's going to be doing a lot of looking up, but she is strong and she is relentless, and that's something Ken Roberts talked about, just her ability and willingness to work.
Tinnett out to O'Neal. 3 on the way, missed it. Angel with the rebound. Daisha Henderson, the fearless point guard for Snohomish. It's a great matchup. You got 2 of the better point guards in the state. O'Neal thought she had picked the pocket of Henderson, and Malia O'Neal picks up her first personal foul.
Well, that's something Garfield has to get out and do. They have to use their quickness and their athleticism to get out and pressure Snohomish whenever they can, but they can't afford to get Malia O'Neal in foul trouble. She is the glue to this Garfield team, and she's, you know, she is the head of the rest of this team. They can't do it without her.
Angel. Off a screen comes Moore. And it's a Snohomish basketball. And a quick inbound to Sydney Benson, and Snohomish has raced to an 8-2 lead.
And Benson did not start playing this game until the 8th grade. A senior now, she will head to Eastern Washington next year. She has made tremendous strides in just 5 years of playing hoops.
Garfield needs a hoop. Laquel Pringle's jumper won't go, and Samantha Tinnett with the rebound, and she is fouled. Ken Roberts is about as Snohomish as you can get. He grew up in Snohomish. His mom and dad were teachers there. He played for Keith Gilbertson Sr. In fact, he liked Keith Gilbertson Sr. so much as a coach, he's now the assistant coach. There he is. There's Gilby Sr. on the sidelines. And Snohomish and the Panthers are off to a quick start. The 4A Girls Championships from the Tacoma Dome were underway tonight, and Snohomish has an 8-2 lead over Garfield. Snohomish with an 8-2 lead. There he is, Snohomish's secret weapon. That is Keith Gilbertson Sr., longtime coach and figure in Snohomish. His son, of course, Keith Gilbertson, the college football coach, former Husky coach, and he's sort of the trainer. And his pet project this year was Tara Angel. When she broke her hand and couldn't practice for a month and a half, It was Keith Gilbertson Sr. who worked with her every day in practice, ran her, and made sure she was sharp when she became healthy.
Well, she said that my legs are not what I'm worried about in my shooting. It was my hand being taped, and now that that tape is off, due to a lot of that hard work with Gilbertson Sr., she says, I'm ready to go now. And you saw it last night. 6 3-pointers, just one off a state tournament record.
The team calls it Gilbicizing. And they've been Gilbicizing all year long. Lob pass in low. Snohomish is eating Garfield alive in the low blocks. Emily Cassidy's got 6 points.
Well, that's just a tremendous pass down low. Cassidy, good position. As I said earlier, undersized, just 5'10", but she knows how to work angles.
Janika Williams for Garfield, working against Angel. Williams steps inside, nice move and finish for the sophomore Williams.
And she had a very good game in the opener of this tournament, 14 points. And she's one of those players that you don't really game plan for her because there's so many other weapons, but if you forget about her, she can hurt you.
Benson. Sydney Benson's got 4 points. 10 low post points for the Snohomish Panthers, and they've got a 12-4 lead.
And this is exactly what they did against University yesterday. They came out, they just played good, solid, fundamental defense, and got out to that early lead and then carried it through. Snohomish, I think any question about their nerves in the state title game have been answered. Sydney Benson down low, just her 5th year playing basketball, and you can see the skill level that she has developed. A nice turnaround jumper.
She's headed to Eastern Washington on a full scholarship. That's not bad for year 5. Bulldogs need some offense. LaKale Pringle handling the basketball. Nice crossover, and Pringle with a right hand, nifty move. She's a junior, one of the unsung heroes of this Garfield team.
And Joyce Walker calls her the smartest player on the floor. She's dependable. She always knows where she's going to be and that she will run the plays and do what she's supposed to do.
Nice inside out look for Moore. And a foul inside, away from the ball.
Well, Garfield off to the slow start here, down by 8 points, but LaKale Pringle, the beautiful crossover, getting down low, and then the finish, just 5'9", but finishing down there among the trees.
Snohomish scored on that inbound play a minute and a half ago. Garfield defends it well this time. How does Garfield get Malia O'Neill going?
You know, it's up to her. They run a lot of 1-4 low for her and just clear out. That's usually where she does her damage. It's not a set play because the ball's in her hands.
Samantha Tinnid picks up her first personal foul. So Malia O'Neill and Tinnid both with a personal foul here in the first quarter, and Snohomish has a 12-6 lead.
And Snohomish, the one thing that Snohomish will bring every night no matter what, their 3-point shooting was really bad the first 2 games of this tournament. They came into last night's game shooting just 16%. They went off for 10 threes to move that percentage up. Their defense has been here every single game, and every game this year. They've won 25 games in a row, and I think the main reason why is that defense is so fundamentally correct.
Spencer with a strong move, can't finish. Her follow is short, follows again. And Garfield with the rebound. Samantha Tinnid off to LaKale Pringle. And the steal, Moore. Snohomish ball.
And again, the defense by Moore, the strip of Pringle, and then the open court opportunity for Snohomish. They just get in your face, and they're not exactly a pressure style defense, but they're not going to let you beat them.
And they're not exactly a big ball club, but they're out rebounding Garfield right now and winning the war on the low blocks. Garfield has numbers on the break. Jessica Tinnid, little spin and finish, her first 2. She's the younger sister of Samantha. Samantha's a junior, Jessica a sophomore. Joyce Walker is not afraid to play underclassmen. It's one of the strengths of this program. Benson again. It's a 3. Sydney Benson's got 7 points, and Snohomish stretches their lead to 7.
That's somebody 6'2" out there in the 3-point line.
O'Neill goes down. Garfield will hold on to the ball.
And Sydney Benson, who yesterday 2 quick fouls 40 seconds into the game, had to take a seat for the entire first quarter, but her teammates stepping up in her absence, that she is the presence down low. They need her in this game so far. 7 points here early in the first quarter.
Vivian Friesen in the ball game for Garfield. This is Jessica Tinnid. Missed on the turnaround. Kelsey Manning in the game for Snohomish, and she has the rebound. Manning is headed to Idaho on a soccer scholarship. That's Manning with the ball in the corner right now. Little trap action by Garfield. And I think that's why Manning's in the game, to handle the basketball. Malia O'Neal, the offside rebound. Averaging 18 points, 8 assists a game. And she is scoreless here in the first quarter. Tinnid. And Jessica Tinnid, or rather Samantha Tinnid, her second bucket. Garfield within 5. Final seconds, first quarter. Manning shot blocked. And with 5 seconds left, Snohomish is going to get it. Kelsey Manning to toss it in. And again, Snohomish got it inside, shot blocked. And the follow, and Snohomish finishes an impressive first quarter with Emily Cassidy's 8 points. Sydney Benson had 7, and the big kids for Snohomish dominated the first quarter. The Panthers have come south, and they lead Garfield by 7. Snohomish has a 7-point lead as we get set to start the second quarter. To win a state championship, you have to be well-schooled and well-fed. And certainly Garfield is. It's a ritual. Joyce Walker's mom hosted the Bulldogs today. They had ribs, string beans, potatoes. During the tournament, every night they've been at Joyce's mom's house. During the regular season, it's a Friday night meal at Joyce's house.
And Joyce says, nobody compares to my mom's cooking.
There she is, Joyce Walker, a legend in Seattle and in the state of Washington. Jessica Tinnid, the turnaround. And Snohomish winning the war on the boards. And a 7-point lead on the scoreboard. Moore down low again. It's Cassidy, and she missed one. And a big rebound inside by Shanika Williams. Here comes O'Neal. O'Neal is bumped and counted.
Well, that is exactly what Garfield wants to do. They have not been able to get out and run because they haven't forced turnovers and they haven't been able to board. That time Garfield to stop, and then the push, and Malia O'Neal, probably the best player in this tournament, in the open floor, being able to finish. Great body control, and able to somehow, even when she's pushed or bumped, she's only 5'3", but she can get a shot off and get it to go. 18
points, 8 assists per ball game, and a 3-point play. Her first 3 points of the game, and Garfield's within 4. And right back to work comes Snohomish. Moore's shot. Henderson's follow. Are you surprised Snohomish is winning the war on the boards as much as they are?
Absolutely, because Garfield is bigger and more physical. But I tell you what, Snohomish knows block out. They know how to get position, and it shows so far.
Long 3 from Moore. Another rebound inside.
They're just outworking it.
Garfield with the rebound. Snohomish is plus 11 on the boards right now. Fast break opportunity, and Friesen finishes. Vivian Friesen, the junior, the transfer from Bremerton. And here comes Garfield within 2. Look at that, plus 11.
And I think the concern for Snohomish is that they're only up by 2 points.
All right, we told you about the meal at Joyce Walker's mom's house. Brad Adam has found Joyce Walker's mom.
That's right, Rich, here with Christine Walker, Mama Walker. And the Bulldogs have played for 4 straight days, but you've cooked for 5. It's a lot of work. How you holding up?
Oh, fine. I enjoy it. You know, I had a big family because I have 10 kids, and I always had to do a lot of cooking, so it didn't bother me.
We heard about the menu today. What's your favorite thing to cook for these girls?
Well, the first day we had chicken wingette, smothered potato, and peach cobbler. And Thursday we had our bunch. We had sausage, bacon, eggs, hash brown, biscuits.
It's all good, isn't it? Now, something I gotta admit, on the conference call today, your daughter Joyce said that she was actually a little better cook than you. What do you think of that?
No. I don't think there's anybody in my family a better cook than me, you know. When I train all of them, they all cook pretty good, you know. It's because they watches me and I let them know this and that. So it's pretty good. They all can cook good.
Well, I got to be honest. Joyce said that you were the best. Mama always knows best. We appreciate the visit. Just watch these Bulldogs, will you? Okay. All right, Rich, back to you.
You know, it's no coincidence. Joyce must have been eating her mom's cooking when she scored 38 points a game in the 1980 tournament to lead Garfield to a championship. She averaged 38 points a game in those 3 games. She shot 60% from the field.
Well, she was incredible. The best player that the state of Washington has ever seen. I think male or female. She was the Harlem Globetrotter, the second ever woman to do that. 2-time All-American at LSU. Was just phenomenal. Averaged 24 points in college over her career. She was an incredible player.
Cassidy, and she was one of those players that was a big player in the women's game before the women's game sort of blew up, before television, before the exposure. Nice crossover. O'Neal finishes.
And that is vintage O'Neal right there. Get her out in the open floor. Nobody back defensively, and she's just going to take you, cross you over, and then finish. Just a nifty move. And she has that edge to her. This Garfield team, when they come out and they can run like that, they are nearly impossible to stop.
It is an 8-0 run right now for Garfield, and a 1-point lead. Snohomish off to a quick start, and the Bulldogs have reeled them back in with 5:33 left in this first half. All right, time now for our question. The girls' record for the most rebounds in a 4A tournament game is Elise. Is it 29? Is it 23? Is it 19? Or is it 13? And that's individual. So an individual.
I think I know this answer.
I'm going to go with Emily Westerberg. Remember her? Who's your?
I think it might be Rhonda Smith.
Really? All right. And how many?
I think 23.
I'll go Westerberg for 29.
I go Rhonda Smith 23.
All right. What do we win?
I don't know. What do we win?
Fine parting gifts.
Do we win a trophy?
Tourist or luggage. 1-point ball game. Garfield on top of Snohomish. 5:33 left. Second quarter. Malia O'Neal has fueled this 8-0 run with a 3-point play, and now a possibility of another. They should go to the line. Arizona, Oklahoma, just some of the schools that have come calling this year. She hasn't decided yet where she's headed.
Earlier this year, she made a verbal commitment, thought she was going to go to UNLV, but decided to wait, hold out, look at all of her options, and I think after a tremendous senior season, she's glad she did so, getting looks from big-time programs like Oklahoma and Arizona and a couple of other schools. She hasn't decided yet, but I think her decision, she said, is coming in April, so next month she should know where she's going to spend the next 4 years of her life.
And she's going to make that decision with Joyce Walker. When we talk to Walker, she's going to sit down with the family and talk it over. There have been a parade of Pac-10, Big Sky, West Coast Conference coaches through this tournament. There's the first 3 by Tara Angel, who had 6 of them last night in the upset win over University, and Snohomish is back on top by a point. And O'Neal is starting to feel it a little bit. Brittany Rathke in the ball game for Snohomish. This is Henderson. Left hand from Henderson. Here comes O'Neal. Bulldogs with the possession, down a point. Lob pass in low. And Samantha Tinnid now with 6.
And that is just a beautiful pass. There is not a lot of players that can make that look over the top of the defense. It is just pinpoint accuracy. It's almost like taking a shot. You have to know exactly where you want that ball to go.
Angel finds more. Jamila Bates. Rathke, the senior, with the rebound. 1-point ball game. Garfield returning to the championship game. They lost to Roosevelt last year in a very memorable championship game. Snohomish lost to Roosevelt last year as well. They lost to him in the semifinals. Henderson. O'Neal pushes. O'Neal finishes.
And what started as a 1-on-3 situation turns into a score from Malia O'Neal. She just blew by everybody on her way to the hoop.
Largest lead of the ball game for Garfield. Nice head fake. Cassidy. Shot clock down. Angel missed. And the follow by Rathke. She's fouled. Timeout on the floor. 2:39 left in this first half. Malia O'Neal and Samantha Tinnid. They've been doing it for a long time at Garfield. And they continue tonight. The Bulldogs on top.
And welcome back to the 4A state title game. Garfield has taken the lead over Snohomish 23-20, and Malia O'Neal, the senior point guard, is coming up big. She's only 5'5", but she is a big-time recruit. She's got 9 points so far, and her coach, Joyce Walker, really commended her point guard on how unselfish she's been this year. She's been more disciplined, she's been more patient, and she's really been sacrificing for the team this year, which, Elise and Rich, as you know, all good point guards have to do for their team to win.
Yeah, I mean, she could go out and score 30 points a night.
She probably could. She wanted to. She got enough shots up. As a point guard, it's a difficult situation because the ball's always in her hands. She can call her own number whenever she wants, but she has some other weapons, and they're here in this state title game because Samantha Tinnid and Jamila Bates and the rest of the crew are very good scorers and can do other things as well. There's a lot of more weapons than just Malia O'Neal, but she's averaging 18 points a game as it is.
So Brittany Rathke with the free throws, and Snohomish within one, and she'll sit down. Some nice minutes. Snohomish, a hot shooting night last night and a good first quarter, but a second quarter in which they've slowed considerably. This is Pringle. O'Neal against Henderson, and Henderson won that battle.
And Snohomish defensively, when they have stopped Garfield in the fast break and got them to set up their half-court offense, they have been very good. It has been a rare occasion when Garfield can score once Snohomish sets up that D.
Best lost the ball. Garfield has a turnover. Good work down low by O'Neal. Jessica Tinnid. Friesen out high. Good look, Pringle, and she's fouled.
And LaKale Pringle just so strong for somebody her size, just 5'9", but she can go inside and post up just like a 6-footer can. Down low, contact from two different players from Snohomish, and didn't even look like she was touched with that finish.
Pringle finishes Garfield's biggest lead now, 5 points. Minute and a half left in this first quarter, a 16-4 run for Garfield. Amanda Best misses the three, and a Snohomish foul on the rebound. And all of a sudden for Snohomish, Shots aren't dropping, and Garfield has made a nice run.
Well, when their shots are not dropping, the one thing that happens for Garfield is that means they can rebound and they can run. And that's really where they've made their mark here in the second quarter on this run to build this 5-point lead for Garfield. They really haven't played the way they're capable of playing yet, but they still have a 5-point lead. That has to be concerning for Snohomish. They've beaten them on the boards and they've done some good things, but they're still trailing in this game.
Vivian Friesen. Offside rebound, Jessica Tinnid. Again inside, Shanika Williams. Garfield doing a better job of rebounding now. Final minute, first half. And a foul inside. Emily Cassidy was fouled. Jamila Bates with her first 6th team foul. And that's how Snohomish made their initial run with Sydney Benson in low. 9 points for Benson. Back to a 3-point game. Pringle got tangled up in low with Kelsey Manning. And Manning will pick up the foul. It's 1-1. Free throws for Garfield and LaKale Pringle.
And I think that is a smart coaching move by Joyce Walker. She has LaKale Pringle, who is a guard, but is very good down low, is strong, knows how to get position, and she's taking these smaller Snohomish guards 2 possessions in a row and just posted up Pringle and said, go to work.
All right, the answer to the trivia question, the rebounding record, you were partially correct. Our Quest trivia answer, the record is 23. Oh, wait, see, Shelly Ray and Rhonda Smith.
See, there you go, my girl, Rhonda Smith.
You got 2/3 of it. Emily Westerberg was nowhere to be seen.
She's being seen now, though.
Yes, she
First
is.
team all packed in at Arizona State out of Central Valley, so she's doing some work.
All right, it looks like final shot here for Snohomish and a foul in backcourt on Pringle. That'll mean free throws for Snohomish. Check it, it's Shanika Williams with the foul. And it will send Snohomish to the line, Daisha Henderson.
The only junior in the starting lineup for Snohomish is Daisha. Her best defender, according to head coach Ken Roberts, and I think just one of those players that knows the game of basketball, extremely intelligent, and so is the entire Snohomish team. But Daisha, a 4.0 student, so she's doing a lot of good work both on and off the floor.
Hits them both. Draws the Panthers within 3. Now Garfield with an opportunity for the final shot. Malia O'Neill out high. 9 points to lead the Bulldogs here in the first half. Nice kick out, Pringle jumper. Let's see if they can get a shot away. The steal by Pringle, and the first half of this girls' state 4A championship game in the books. Malia O'Neill and Garfield upset last year in the championship game. A 3-point lead over Snohomish. Let's check in with Brad Adams.
Thank you, Rich. Down 7 after one, up 3. Going to the locker rooms. What was different there in the second quarter for you?
I think we gave them too many second shots. We talked about boxing out and pushing the tempo. So we got those things on track. So we got to get in there and figure out how to get in our offense and get some easier baskets second half.
What worries you about the second half?
Well, I just think that they're playing with greater effort than we have. And so we got to find a way for the next 2 quarters to keep pushing the tempo.
If anybody can find that way, it's going to be you. Good luck. Thanks for the time. Good luck in the second half, Rich.
All right, look, Joyce looks like she could still play. Look at her go.
Oh, she can.
Snohomish got off to a quick start, and Garfield came roaring back. And at the half, the Bulldogs with a 28-25 lead of the 4A Girls Championship. And a good ball game here so far. Garfield has a 28-25 lead over Snohomish. Welcome back to the Tacoma Dome. Rich Waltz with the lady in red, Elise Woodward. Interesting first half because we thought Garfield, athletic, good rebounders. They came in and they just got smoked in the first quarter. Joyce Walker talked about the adjustments she made, and Garfield went on one of their patented runs.
Well, Snohomish started missing shots, and that meant that Malia O'Neill could get out and run the floor, and that's something that she does so well. She got out, she was able to finish, and was able to create some opportunities because she's one of the best when she has some open floor to work with. If Garfield gets stuck in a half-court set, you heard Joyce Walker talk about it, they need to find a better way to execute because right now their plays in the half-court just aren't really working.
I think one problem for Snohomish is this, outside shooting. Obviously, it was a factor in the upset with 10 three-pointers over University last night. Absolutely. They have just one three-pointer, and just those 3 points from Tara Angel for their guards to show for tonight.
Well, I think that also is a good sign for Snohomish in the fact that they haven't really been bombs away. They haven't shot the ball like they're capable of, and yet they're still in this game against a favored Garfield team. Garfield's the #1 ranked team in the nation. They beat the #1 ranked team in the state. They beat the 2nd ranked team in the nation earlier, Piedmont, down in the Bay Area. So this is a team that when they put it all together is extremely dangerous. I think Snohomish feels good to be down by just 3 with a chance at an upset still in this game.
Well, we're just getting started here on FSN, and our championship season coming to a close tonight. The boys championship coming up, halftime of the girls championship with Garfield up by 3.
Welcome back to the T-Dome. Garfield trailed by 7 after 1, but now lead the Panthers from Snohomish 28-25 in our 4A Girls Championship game. Immediately following this one, after a little on-court celebration, of course, we've got the 4A Boys Championship game. Kentwood looking for a repeat, taking on Bethel, and a man calling that game along with our Rich Waltz, Mr. Bill Crew. Joining us once again. Bethel and Kentwood have already played in the playoffs earlier this year. Bethel beat them. What's going to be different this time around? Does that even matter?
Well, I think what has to be different is that the 2 big bookends, Tiefenthaler and Moore, they got 34 points of the 59 in that 59-52 win that Bethel had over Kentwood. Kentwood's on a roll, though. They kind of snuck up on some people. They're playing with momentum. They're holding opponents to 46 points per ball game and 38% shooting, so they're going to have to stuff them defensively to win.
This Kentwood team, a lot of players obviously won the state last year, same guys. Is there much carryover in that experience factor for Kentwood this year?
I think so. I think both teams are really seasoned for the tournament. These guys have been around the tournament. Shoot, Bethel's been here for 3 straight years. This Kentwood bunch, granted, no Rodney Stuckey, but Blake Solomon, Aaron Boyce, these guys are great athletes and good basketball players, and so they're going to be prepared and primed to play in this championship game.
It's a 1 versus 6 seed, but those seeds, you kind of throw that out the window. Very even match, as you said, should be a very good ball game. Come down to the last couple of seconds, hopefully.
It could. I think both teams play very disciplined offense and very good defense. Kentwood's going to play zone. They're going to sink in and try to take away those big guys. If Jordan Sutton makes shots, Bethel's going to run away. But if not, Kentwood's going to be right there to the end.
All right, Bill, look forward to having you call that game. We've got a second half of the girls to get to, and it should be a good one. Again, Garfield leading by 3. Well, I'm not sure what that is, but we know Sydney Benson has come to play for the Panthers. They trail by 3. Second half coming up.
Garfield band has shown up tonight. And they are into a time now for the Banner Bank Building to the Future, the state academic champions of girls basketball, the 4A level University at 3A Bellingham, both with 3.82s. East Valley Yakima duplicating Elise Woodward's 3.84 on Alaska.
How'd you know that?
At 1A. And Curlew. You ever been to Curlew?
Have not.
The B school. Curlew, I think, is just east of Tonasket. That's north of Spokane. I think I went through there on my way to Kamloops once. All right, let's talk about the Garfield Bulldogs. And some of the highlights, our halftime highlights brought to you by the Dairy Farmers of Washington. A lot of Malia O'Neal, I would suspect.
Well, no big surprise. She is leading the way. When Garfield has looked good in this half, when they took that 3-point lead at halftime, it was due in part to Malia O'Neal just getting out on the run. You see her ability to just break down the defense in the open floor in transition. If the defense isn't set, she's finding a way to get in the heart of the defense. And Laquel Pringle's played really well as for her Garfield team. Joyce Walker talks about her, the unsung hero of this team, and she's really played well. 7 points in this game, a couple of 3-point opportunities, and just doing the little things for Garfield here today.
It were the big things, actually the big players that started it off for Snohomish. In the low block, Sydney Benson and Emily Cassidy had big halves.
Well, Sydney Benson was 7 boards in the first half and a couple of nice finishes. There she goes outside. Really shows the tremendous improvement in her game since she's entered Snohomish and working with Ken Roberts. And Emily Cassidy, undersized, but really doing a good job working down low in the first half. Snohomish, a lot of their points coming off second opportunities. They have out-rebounded Garfield 28-17.
And again, not a lot of scoring from the Snohomish guards. Angel last night at 21 points. Here are your halftime stats. Anything jump out at you?
Well, the rebounds, like I just mentioned, and look at those offensive boards for Snohomish. 15 offensive boards, and when you get an offensive board, most of the time you're 2 feet from the hoop. That leaves you with a really easy shot to follow.
Garfield with the first possession, second half. Samantha Tinnid. Sam, as her teammates call her. Her sister Jessica Tinnid missed the shot, and there's another rebound for Snohomish. Snohomish coming out with Daisha Henderson running the point, along with Kristen Moore, Sydney Benson, Emily Cassidy, and Tara Angel. This is Angel. And a steal by Samantha Tinnid. Samantha along with Jessica Tinnid, Malia O'Neal, Laquel Pringle, and Jamila Bates for Garfield. This is O'Neal. Nice backdoor look. And the left hand won't go for Jamila Bates.
And she loses her shoe out of bounds.
I've heard of jumping out of the gym, but jumping out of your shoes is
I didn't know
something entirely different. I didn't know you could stop the game
I didn't think you could stop the clock for a shoe that was lost.
Especially if you don't have the ball.
Exactly.
Oh, someone, she got, what do they call that in grade school?
A flat tire.
A flat, there you go, thank you. It's been
I'm on that level.
It's I'm getting there. It's been a while since I've had a flat tire. Someone stepped on the back of her shoe. I think you can stop the game for a flat tire.
Well, there you go.
That's in the rule book. Henderson with the basketball. Snohomish possession. They're down by 3. Calling for it in low is Cassidy. Kicks it right back out. The 3 from Moore is good.
And that is just a beautiful looking jump shot from Kristen Moore, the senior. This will be her last basketball game of her career, along with 4 other starters on the floor right now for Snohomish.
And the game now tied. Turnover. And it's Snohomish basketball. Henderson. Lob for Benson. Cassidy. And the offensive rebounds that Elise talked about show up early on here in the third quarter for Snohomish.
And they are just relentless. A lot of times Garfield is bigger, they're more physical down low. Benson down low can't get the finish with Samantha Tinnid. And then it's just a matter of Cassidy looking and looking for that board and continuing to work and getting another chance to get a couple points on the board.
That foul was on Samantha Tinnid, and she's coming out of the ball game because that's her 4th personal foul.
And that is a difficult loss for Garfield. She is really that inside-outside combination. Malia O'Neal, when she's in trouble, the person she has her eyes glued on is Samantha Tinnid, averaging 16 points per game entering today's contest. She's a huge player here for Garfield.
The 1 free throw for Emily Cassidy. And a Garfield foul at the free throw line, Jamila Bates.
Fouls on number
Joyce Walker has to make some decisions right now.
And Joyce Walker walking over to Samantha Tennant, her hand covering up her face and just lifting that face up physically to Samantha Tennant and said, keep your head up, get your eyes on the game, and let's get into this right now. This is a ball game right now as we trail by 1.
Benson again. Sydney Benson is headed to Eastern Washington, and the Eagles have to like what they see tonight. And a 6-0 run to start things here. O'Neal spin, and she's fouled by Kristen Moore on the reach.
And Garfield right now, a lot of talking to one another. No, they called it a travel.
A break for Snohomish. It looked like a pretty good move.
Garfield chirping at one another. Right now, down by 3 points, a critical period.
Henderson all the way to finish. Daisha Henderson's got 4 points, and Snohomish, just like they did in the first quarter, here in the third quarter, off to a quick start.
And without Samantha Tennant on the floor, many times she's the one that when they need a big bucket, they go to her down low. She's almost automatic when she gets the ball on the block. Now there's a lot of pressure on Malia O'Neal to score.
Pringle takes the 3. Held ball, and the arrow goes to Snohomish. Midway through this third quarter, Garfield had a 3-point halftime lead. It's been erased quickly by Snohomish. Up the floor come the Panthers. Benson missed the bunny, and Pringle with the rebound. And right back comes Garfield. Nice look to Williams, and Shamika finishes her second bucket of the ball game.
And that was a 4-point swing. Snohomish, Cindy Benson was wide open underneath, and the pass delivered too late. Can't finish, and Garfield going the other way. This tempo is in Garfield's favor right now.
Henderson. 6 for Henderson. Snohomish by 5.
Well, Garfield wants that fast pace, but right now Snohomish answering the bell. Daisha Henderson showing she can finish in the open court as well.
Pringle in low. Count it, and she's got a free throw. Garfield's done a nice job of exploiting that matchup. Pringle finished on that one, and she started that last break. Not a bad toss. Bulldogs at the free throw line, trying to draw closer to Snohomish. Snohomish got off to a quick start in the first quarter. Garfield reeled them back in for a 3-point halftime lead. It's been all Snohomish here in the third. Into the Snohomish huddle. Brad Adams is in there. Brad, what's going on?
Jimmy, as you mentioned, a perfect start to the third quarter. Snohomish outscoring Garfield 10-4. Head coach Ken Roberts stressing he wants to keep the pressure on. He said Garfield not quite sure what's going on. It's a great third quarter. He wants them to extend and stretch their lead by pressing. He also said something out, Rich, was really intelligent. You knew it was a long TV timeout. He had his players sit up, drink water, get a lot of deep breaths, rest up, because there's going to be a lot of running the rest of this game.
Coaches are television savvy now in this state. They know. And Pringle finishes a 3-point play. Two-point ball game. Jessica Tennant, or rather Vivian Friesen, knocked it out of bounds. Friesen's a junior. Aren't a lot of seniors on this Garfield team. Benson missed, followed by Cassidy.
Once again, an offensive board for Snohomish. Garfield stops them initially, but can't finish the play.
O'Neal penetrates out to Tennant, and Jessica Tennant, her second bucket. Nice look by O'Neal.
Jessica Tennant, just a sophomore, very quiet, but can really score.
Good catch and cut and finish by Moore, and Snohomish handled the half-court trap very well.
Well, Garfield trying to get that tempo up, and to do that, they're trapping, and they want to make Snohomish play with a frenetic pace, and right now, Snohomish really countering that.
Williams with the rebound. Henderson into the corner to Moore. We haven't heard from Tara Angel lately. They haven't needed her with the play of the big kids, Benson and Cassidy. This is Benson. She traveled. Garfield came so close to a championship last year. Roosevelt, they were really a team of destiny last year. Remember the Rough Riders?
Absolutely. Cornelia Russell, Brianna Gaines, both now playing at community colleges.
Ball
doing
inside
very well.
and a whistle and a foul. You know, a lot of people have asked about those two because of the stories from last year's game. Bill Ressler, their coach, they were a team of destiny. They won that championship. Cornelia Russell had a pretty good year at junior college in Seattle, didn't she?
At Seattle Community College, the NWAC, she was first team and the MVP of that league as a freshman. So congratulations to her. Getting a lot of looks from Division I schools now.
O'Neal goes to the free throw line. That would be the great finish to that story. If Russell got to a Division I school after all the hardships she had last year and throughout her career.
That's someone looking to play at a higher level as well. Malia O'Neal still undecided on where she's going to go to college. Thought she was going to go to UNLV, gave a verbal commitment, but then decided, I want to weigh my options, so pulled that back and is now listening to a lot of different coaches from around the way. Right now, her two front runners, Arizona and Oklahoma.
You know, and as Cinderella, as a feeling as it was for Roosevelt last year, it was a crushing loss for Garfield. In low, Kristen Moore has 6 second-half points, 9 in the ball game, and Snohomish has stretched it to 6.
And guess who beat Snohomish to get to the title game? That was Roosevelt. That is how Snohomish lost last year. Roosevelt got them as well. Another crushing blow. So these two teams know what it feels like to get beat by Roosevelt.
When the pressure has come out, Snohomish has done a nice job of beating that pressure.
Well, you do it. If somebody's pressuring you, you go backdoor, and that is exactly what Kristen Moore does. The execution from Snohomish, you can just tell they've played together for many years, since 2nd and 3rd grade, a lot of these seniors.
And a rare 3 for Garfield, only their 2nd of the ball game. Jessica Tinnid now with 7, and the Bulldogs climb within 3. Benson, and she's fouled. She'll go to the free throw line. Ken Roberts told us today that on senior night, very emotional night for he and his team, they brought out pictures not only of their high school career, but as you alluded to, back in 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, when most of these girls were together in grade school in Snohomish on basketball teams, soccer teams.
Well, you talked about it. Snohomish is a community. It's one of the rare 4A schools where it actually is a town unto itself. Snohomish High School, there's only one place you're going to school, and the entire community supports it. And all of these girls have known each other for years and years, gone to school with one another. And this is an emotional night for them. There's 6 seniors on this Snohomish roster that will never play together again. Sydney Benson right now, the only one with plans to play at the next level. So for 5 of them, this is the last time they're going to lace it up. And there's just something about playing your last high school basketball game with all of your best friends. It's extremely emotional.
This is a Garfield team, on the other hand, that has an awful lot of juniors and sophomores, except for Malia O'Neal and Jamila Bates.
Well, Jamila Bates already knows what she'll be doing next year, going to George Washington University on a full scholarship. Malia O'Neal still undecided, but just 2 seniors for Garfield, so they will be back next year. A lot of talent for Joyce Walker. She has really turned this program around in the 5 years she's been there.
Final minute, 3rd quarter. Snohomish with the lead and the ball. Daisha Henderson. Benson finds Moore. And Ken Roberts didn't like what he saw, and he's going to burn a timeout. Sydney Benson, 12 point, 10 rebounds. She's got a double-double in this ball game. The kid that's only been playing in 4 previous seasons. This is her 5th year of basketball. A late bloomer, is headed to Eastern Washington with a 3.98 grade point average.
1 A-. Wonder if she was slacking. Ken Roberts talks about not only how intelligent she is, but obviously with a 3.98 GPA, but extremely athletic. She could get up as a sophomore and grab rim. And that's really what is so enticing about her, is that potential. 6'2", and learning the game of basketball every single day, trying to improve.
You know what's amazing is you talk about the great high school players that we've seen in the last 5-6 years, and the high school basketball, both boys and girls, has grown in stature, both nationally and in this area. But you ask anyone around that's seen a lot of basketball, who's the best high school basketball player in the state ever as a girl, and it's Joyce Walker. That's who they'll talk about. And they'll put Joyce Walker number 1, Kate Starbird maybe number 2, maybe Sheila Lambert number 3. You can see her.
I don't think there's any question. I think if you're talking boy or girl, I think Joyce Walker has the most prominence. Now, she came before the time of professional women playing in the United States, but I guarantee if there was a WNBA in Joyce Walker's time, she would have been a star. She averaged 25 points per game for her entire collegiate career. She was phenomenal.
Final seconds, 3rd quarter. O'Neal jump stop, had it blocked, and a held ball. There was an article in the paper this week. Mike Bethea, the Rainier Beach coach, said that when he was growing up and he used to play pickup games, he would be playing with the guys, and when Joyce Walker walked into the gym, he would stop and immediately drop one of his players and get her in the game right away.
It's great, isn't it? Yeah. Not only because she's that good, but he said, I didn't want to be embarrassed. She had to be on my team.
Jessica Tinnett. Skip pass to O'Neal, big collision. Henderson and O'Neal both went down. Let's hope both are okay. 15 seconds left, 3rd quarter. She took the headband off. Did Malia O'Neal.
It's time to get serious now. You got a little more than a quarter in the state title. You're trailing by 4. This is.
I thought for a moment that collision knocked it off, but she's been without it here for much of the 3rd quarter. Let's see if Garfield can get a good shot. Little zone from Snohomish. Pringle. Jessica Tinnett. And no last shot, well, at least not yet for Garfield. 0.7 seconds left. O'Neal, and Pringle couldn't get a shot away, and the 3rd quarter is history, and Snohomish owned the 1st quarter. Garfield owned the 2nd. Joyce Walker wanted a foul, and it was all Snohomish in the 3rd. Ken Roberts and his Snohomish Panthers were big upset winners last night. They're working on another one tonight.
8 minutes left in the girls' 4A title game. Snohomish leads Garfield by 4, 42-38. In the huddle, Joyce Walker, her message was simple. You need, obviously, trail by 4 after 3. If you want it, go out and get it. She put in Samantha Tinnett, her best scorer. She's back in the game. She challenged her guards to put pressure on the ball, challenged her team to go out and get it. We'll see if they can get it done for the next 8 minutes.
Well, they got that loose ball. Tinnett has 4 personal fouls, and so she's back in to start the 4th quarter. Thank you, Brad. Here we go. Garfield and Snohomish, 8 minutes away from a state championship. O'Neal. There's Tinnett. There's that high arcing jumper. That's one of the reasons they talk about comparing her to Sam Perkins, is that smooth delivery.
And how she always looks like she's moving in slow motion, but somehow she can find the rim.
That's a big bucket for Garfield. Brings him within 2. And Garfield's gone into a little zone look.
Samantha Tinnett has to make sure she doesn't play timid here with 4 fouls. She doesn't look too timid here, just stepping back, the long-range jump shot going down.
And here comes Garfield with the ball down 2. O'Neal. Pringle steps into an 18-footer. "30-second shot clock in girls high school basketball. Henderson. Nice steal. Jessica Tinnid. Bates. O'Neal. 9 points in the first half. O'Neal has not scored here in the second half. Tinnid tries to save it. Moore's got it. Snohomish forces another turnover.
And Snohomish, even after a turnover, content to just hang back, set up their offense. Interesting move by Joyce Walker to zone this team that has been such a good outside shooting team. But it's working. 3 turnovers in a row.
O'Neal. Pringle in the low blocks. Shot clock at 8. O'Neal in traffic. 3 seconds on the shot clock. And Garfield keeps the possession, down 2. Timeout on the floor, 5:35 left in the fourth quarter. 3 seconds left for Joyce Walker's Bulldogs as they're down 2 to Snohomish. Let's listen in. Special Olympics Winter Games just took place with athletes participating in a variety of sports, including figure and speed skating, basketball, and skiing. Make sure you tune in Wednesday, 7:30 to FSN, a proud partner of Special Olympics. Three seconds left on the shot clock. And now Snohomish, after watching Garfield come out and set up, is going to burn a timeout as well. Ken Roberts, both coaches in their 5th seasons, will step aside as well. Fourth quarter of the 4A Girls Championship. Snohomish in their huddle with a 2-point lead. Snohomish with a 2-point lead, having to defend the shot clock now with Garfield on the possession. Shot clock has melted down to 3 seconds. That's really not a worry in Ken Roberts' offense, because Roberts said he has a very simple philosophy that he tells his girls: if you're open, shoot it. So that gives everybody a lot of freedom. They're not looking over their shoulder or worried about, you know, am I going to come out if I miss that shot?
When it works, because he has so many good shooters too.
That helps. Garfield, Tinnid missed the jumper. They got the rebound and fresh shot clock. Samantha Tinnid playing with 4 fouls. Friesen, lob for Tinnid. And she spins through and scores. And Samantha Tinnid, who averages 16 a game, now with 10 in this one. And Garfield has come all the way back to tie it at 42.
And that's just a beautiful move out of Tinnid. You can't stop that. If she gets the ball one-on-one down low, most of the time she's going to score. And Garfield's still in that zone. It's been very effective here late in this game.
Angel spots for 3. Got it! She had 6 of them yesterday. That's her 2nd in this ball game.
And that is the concern when you roll out a zone, is that those 3-point shooters for Snohomish are going to get on a roll.
It's a kick and they'll reset it. It was a nice job by Henderson to penetrate and draw O'Neal back towards the middle of the court, and that freed Angel up.
Angel, who I'm sure feels extremely free without the tape all over her right hand or shooting hand. Still 3 screws in it from surgery.
Foul inside. That's Emily Cassidy's foul. And Garfield will get free throws. Third personal on Emily Cassidy. 6th team foul on Snohomish. And Vivian Friesen comes to the line. She came to Garfield from Bremerton.
And Joyce Walker says that she's been a great addition to her team. It's been a learning experience. She was the big fish in a little pond over in Bremerton, and now, of course, she is one of many talented players at Garfield High School. But in the last month, Joyce said she's seen tremendous strides out of Friesen, who will be back next year to play for Joyce Walker.
You know, college coaches can see through that, though. I mean, when a college coach comes to scout someone like a Friesen or a Jamila Bates, and they see that they're averaging 10 points a game and not averaging 25 a game, you realize that they're playing on a very talented team. Coaches like that. They like kids coming from programs that are successful, even if they're not putting up 25 a night. Snohomish by 2. O'Neal. Tinnett. Getting a little more aggressive. Shot clock did not reset. O'Neal with a jump stop, couldn't finish though. Nifty move, but no payoff. Held ball and a Garfield arrow, and they'll get it. Tinnett. They can't stop her right now. She's got a dozen. And she ties the game at 45, 3:40 left.
And that is just pretty. She had a game of 25 points in the quarterfinals, so she can put a lot of points on the board. And right now, she's just having her way down low.
Benson answers. 14 for Sydney Benson.
And right now, it's just who's going to win that battle down low between Tinnett and Benson.
Tinnett misses. Benson the rebound. The 2-point Snohomish lead. 3 minutes left. Henderson. Right hand won't go. And here comes Garfield. Out on the break. Jessica Tinnett. And the sophomore with a big hoop ties the game at 47. Henderson takes the shot. Big rebound by Cassidy and the putback.
And again, Snohomish working the offensive glass. That is why they have that 2-point lead, no question.
O'Neal fouled, and it almost goes. Malia gets 2 free throws.
And that's what makes Garfield so dangerous. Snohomish will go down and work and work and work to get a shot. And then Malia O'Neal will come down. But watch Cassidy right here, just working, finding the ball with a nose for it, and then goes right in between 2 defenders and able to finish.
Malia O'Neal misses. And O'Neal gets 1 more free throw.
Another good look at that rebounding advantage from Snohomish.
First point of the second half for O'Neal. That's a 1-point Snohomish lead. Now the shot clock becomes a factor for Snohomish. Angel. Henderson. Henderson blocked. Free throws coming. 1:52 left in this state championship game.
And a nice take from Henderson, who's done a good job setting up Garfield for most of this game by getting into the lane and then dishing out to other people. This time she gets into the lane and tries to finish and picks up a chance for 2 free throws.
Still a 1-point game. Got the headband back on. Henderson hits 1 of 2. We're back on a 2-point game. You can see the entire town of Snohomish at the top of your screen. They're on those bleachers. And a strong move in low by Samantha Tinnett.
And a lot of contact as well. That could have been a 3-point opportunity. Give Tinnett credit.
8 second-half points for Tinnett. Lob pass, Benson. Can't finish. Benson's follow. And doesn't go. Again. And a foul. 1:20 left. Tied at 50.
Ooh, did anybody say free throws are important? We can decide a state title. Both teams right now a little tight at the line. Sydney Benson could have gotten a couple of chippies to go, but she stays with it, doesn't get frustrated. There's 1 shot, there's 2 shots, and finally she earns a trip to the line.
And hits her free throw. Sydney Benson, 15 points, 14 rebounds. Hello, Big Sky. Hits them both. 2-point ball game. Minute 15 left. Garfield down with the ball. Snohomish doing it on the offensive glass. Jessica to Samantha. Samantha missed it. Follow is good with a foul. Jamila Bates.
And Jamila Bates, her first bucket of the game could not have come at a better time. Just working the offensive glass, giving Snohomish a taste of their own medicine and a chance for a 3-point play.
Misses the free throw. We are still tied with a minute left. The steal and the foul by O'Neal, her second personal. Sixth team foul. No free throws yet. Snohomish has 18 fouls. Garfield with 6, so it's free throws from here on out. Shot clock was reset on the foul. Again, they go inside to Benson. It stays a Snohomish ball.
And remember, Samantha Tinnett, the offensive force for Garfield with 4 fouls. She has to be careful with Benson down low.
Benson down low, triple team. That reach is going to a Tinnett, but I think it's Jessica's foul.
And right there, just really not a smart foul. Garfield did an excellent job. 3 players surrounding Benson. She had nowhere to go, but instead reaching in, getting a little bit greedy.
Sydney Benson's right back at the line. Garfield burns a timeout with 47 seconds left. Joyce Walker has been here before. Last year with Roosevelt, that game came down to the final seconds. Walker told us today that after the disappointment last year, when everybody showed up for practice in the fall, there was a lot less complaining, a lot less worry about who would get the shots, a lot less selfish play. She said everybody was focused, everybody knew how the last season ended, and everybody knew how they wanted this season to end.
Well, they finished 3rd in 2003. In 2004, they finished 2nd. This year, they obviously have a chance to finish first. Tie game, 47 seconds left. I think for Garfield, they've had so many years of being at the top of the state that without a state title, they'll feel like they haven't completed their mission of what they've wanted. They have talked about this exact moment since a year ago to the day when they lost to Roosevelt in the state championship game. They were favored. They felt like they should have won that game. They let it get away from them. And they have a chance to redeem themselves right now against Snohomish.
2 shots for Sydney Benson. She hit her last 2. She's got 17 points. Not a bad night in a state championship game. Hit them both. Boy, those are clutch free throws. She's hit 4 consecutive. Snohomish back up by 2. Garfield ball. 40 seconds left in this state championship game.
And they're going to try to get it to Tinid.
O'Neal in traffic. O'Neal, yes! Ties it up.
And that is called improvision from Malia O'Neal, and just making up her own offense there, and that works.
Timeout, Snohomish. Ken Roberts, look at the top of your screen at the shot clock and the game clock. 1.5-second differential. So Snohomish cannot play for the very last shot, but they can come pretty darn close. Last night it was outside shooting for Snohomish. 10 3-pointers. And it looked at times tonight like that 3-point shot would be there. Tara Angel hit this one from the corner, but after that, it's been a great mix of inside-outside.
Well, Tara Angel, that threat from the outside, just 2 threes tonight after 6 yesterday, but it has been Benson, the star for this game. The 2-point lead there on that basket, and 5 for 6 from the free throw line. Cassidy here with a nice follow down low in the trees and getting it to go. Keeps it a tie game for Snohomish, and they've just done a great job of crashing the offensive glass. Over 20 offensive boards for Snohomish. And that's just the ability to work hard. They're not getting frustrated. Their shots aren't going down like they normally do, but instead of hanging their head, they're just continuing to work, get after that board, and try to finish at the free throw line or any way they can.
Let's check in with Brad Adam. Brad?
Well, thank you, Rich. Ken Roberts telling his team there's plenty of time left. They want to just run the clock until about 4 seconds to go. And then he's going to run a play for Amanda Best. They're going to run a high pick, try to get her the ball top of the key, and Amanda Best is going to go one-on-one to try to win this thing for Snohomish.
Well, Amanda Best with a 3-point shot last year to send the game into overtime against Richland and send the team into the semis. She has hit clutch shots before, just a sophomore.
This is Moore. Henderson. Best has it. Almost lost it. And calls the timeout. For a sophomore, how heady is that? To suddenly sense you're in trouble and burn the timeout with 6.5 seconds left.
Well, the ball knocked loose. Amanda Best looking inside, and no doubt LaKale Pringle. Joyce Walker calls her the unsung hero and the glue for this team, reaching in, getting a piece of the ball, and sending that play into disarray for Snohomish. They're going to take the timeout. Game on the line, 6.5 seconds left. We'll see what Ken Roberts can draw up.
It's amazing that they would call Amanda Best's number. She has not scored tonight.
Sometimes it's who you know that can be clutch. And she has proven it here at the state tournament on this very floor that she can make big shots. But the key to Snohomish is there are so many players that can hit big shots. 4 seniors in the starting lineup.
6.5 seconds left, state championship game. Garfield doing a nice job defending. Half a second melts there. And remember, keep an eye on the shot clock, top of your screen. 5 seconds left on it, a 1-second differential. So they don't have 6 seconds to get a shot off. They've got 5 seconds. Henderson against O'Neal. Shot clock runs out. Game clock follows. There should be a second left for Garfield to try a shot. When they started the possession release, remember it was a 1.5-second differential. And we'll see how much time they put back up there. Still, it's going to take a 3/4 court inbound and a heave at the buzzer to prevent overtime. 1.5 seconds. Nice work by this officiating crew. Suzanne Thompson, Riaz Kanji, and Denise Thatcher. These officials are also working their way into a state championship as well. They're graded throughout the tournament, and they pick the 3 best. There's a look at Denise Thatcher, Riaz Kanji, and the head referee is Suzanne Thompson. 1.5 left. Let's see what Garfield does with it. O'Neal, what kind of arm does she have? Not bad. It comes up short, and we're headed to overtime. Garfield and Malia O'Neal and Snohomish are headed to overtime. 54-54.
32 minutes and absolutely nothing has been decided. I think one of the key things, though, is Samantha Tennant still 4 fouls, 14 points in this game, and some huge shots down the clutch. Sydney Benson, a good look right there. Number 32 for Snohomish has really played well. 18 points in this game for the Panthers, and that has been the battle.
And we talk about Malia O'Neal. You see her right there in your view. We talk about her offense so much. It was her defense on Henderson in that last sequence. When the shot clock expired, Henderson tried to drive her to the baseline, and O'Neal beat her to the baseline, and the shot clock expired with the ball in Henderson's hands.
And absolutely, she has the quickness to be able to shut down opposing guards. And she did it when it counted the most. 6.5 seconds left, and the game and the state championship on the line.
Overtime in 4A high school basketball in the state of Washington is a 4-minute overtime with 1 additional timeout. But remember the foul trouble, because everybody's fouls hold. And the big trouble for Garfield is Samantha Tennant and her 4. Sydney Benson has had a big night so far. Tennant stayed out of foul trouble once she came back in at the start of the 4th quarter. And she's got 14 in the game.
And you have to remember, these players are exhausted. 4 games in 4 days of the highest level basketball that you are ever going to play as a high school, or in high school. And they have done it, and they are both here. They've proven they both belong in this game. And to go that extra 4 minutes, and their legs are exhausted. You talk about your depth and your will getting tested right now. These 4 minutes decide a state title, and a lot of that conditioning all through the year is what's going to make them or break them right now.
Garfield with the first possession in this overtime. Mikhail Pringle. O'Neal. Lob for Tennant. Stays a Garfield ball. Shot clock at 12. O'Neal off a screen. Pringle. Shot clock running down. Tennant beat the buzzer, but missed the shot, and Snohomish gets the ball. The ball had to hit the rim. Once it didn't hit the rim, with the clock expiring, it was a turnover, and Snohomish with their first possession of overtime. Ball loose. O'Neal, 2 to beat. Beat them both. She's got 14, Garfield by 2.
And the body control to somehow get between 2 defenders in the air and yet still find the hoop.
Oh, nice look over the top. Cassidy with 15. Cassidy's got 15. Benson's got 18. And the low blocks for Snohomish.
And the nice pass there from Benson. It's amazing, that type of touch out of somebody 6'2".
O'Neal. O'Neal got the rebound. Held ball, possession for Snohomish. Garfield won the tip to start overtime, so the arrow goes Ken Roberts and Snohomish's way.
And how about Malia O'Neal? Taysha Henderson is giving her 3-4 feet of cushion, and yet Malia O'Neal, so quick, is still able to get into the lane for a good look at the hoop.
Moore in low. It's Benson again. And she missed the layup. Nice rebound by Jamila Bates.
Those legs are rubbery right now. This is a lot of basketball and an extra frame.
Baseline drive. O'Neal can't finish, and she's fouled by Cassidy. It's Cassidy's fourth. Check it, the foul's on Benson. And it's her third. I think Snohomish got a break because Cassidy was right in there with the contact as well. $15 for O'Neal. Two-point Garfield lead. Henderson. Moore in the corner, and a steal by Garfield. It was Jessica Tennant. And now Garfield has the ball and the lead. Pringle, big bucket for Garfield. Snohomish needs an answer.
Well, Benson has been their answer.
Here comes the double team. And Benson is fouled on the reach by Pringle. That'll be 2 free throws with a minute left in overtime.
And you can just see the body language from Garfield right now. Those 4 straight points for them, and all of a sudden there's a bounce in their step. Their bench is vocal and cheering on Garfield. Their hands are raised at the free throw line. They can feel the state title right now.
Sydney Benson hits another free throw. She's hit her last 5 in a row. 6 of 7, now 7 of 8 from the line. 20 for Benson. But Snohomish needs a stop. Garfield needs another bucket. And we've got 50 seconds left in overtime. O'Neal. Strong drive Bates. She's going to the line. 38.8 seconds left. Timeout on the floor. Jamila Bates will be at the free throw line with 2 free throws. And her team up by 2. Garfield on top of Snohomish.
Ken Roberts trying to ice Jamila Bates, calling the timeout as she heads to the line.
We'd like to welcome those viewers in Oregon who've been watching the OSAA 4A Boys Championship game. Jesuit beating Lake Oswego. Congratulations to Jesuit. Here in Tacoma, the Washington State Girls 4A Championship is in overtime. Garfield has a 2-point lead. Snohomish, somewhat of an underdog, if you can call a team at 25-1 and 1 an underdog. They upset University last night. Garfield, who finished second in the state last year, back to try to finish the deal this year. And Jamila Bates, a senior, is headed to the free throw line with 2 free throws on the way.
In this extra time right now, they're trying to wipe the floor and make sure that it is dry and safe. You're gonna see Jamila Bates just fidgeting and just give me the ball, I need to shoot these. You don't want extra time to think about it when you're a player.
Got it. Big free throw.
Huge.
You can just see the relief on her face. Hits 1 of 2. Held ball, and it's Garfield's ball. Three-point lead, 37 seconds left.
And no surprise, it's Mikhail Pringle making the big defensive play there for Garfield, just getting her hands on that ball and getting another possession for the Bulldogs.
Shot clock running down, 7-second differential. O'Neal's fouled by Henderson. O'Neal, a good free throw shooter. And for Henderson, the point guard for Snohomish, that's 5. And O'Neal goes to the line. She missed the first. She makes the second. 4-point ball game. 25 seconds left. Angel, good three-point shooter. Down low, Benson steps through, can't finish. Lost the ball. It's loose. Snohomish ball, 12 seconds left. 4-point Garfield lead. Snohomish needs a bucket and a foul to have a shot. Cassidy. Garfield's got it. Pringle with it. She's fouled with 5 seconds left. And Garfield is ever so close to getting what they thought was theirs last year and have waited all year to get a shot at again. Pringle shoots 2. Five-point game. And it's all over but the shouting. Ken
There's
Roberts.
some shouting going on in that student section. You better believe it. Garfield ecstatic. Their boys not here, but their girls taking care of business here today. A long journey for that group of girls.
And for Ken Roberts, a tough moment as he's emptied his bench. The regulars are out. And as much joy as you see on the Garfield side, you know the emotions certainly a great contrast on the other side. Pringle missed it. Clock rolls out. Joyce Walker and Garfield have their championship. They have waited and waited, and they are finally the 4A state champions again. In 1980, she was a player and led him to a championship. She came back 5 years ago with the program at the very bottom and vowed that she would get it back to the top.
And Joyce Walker is as classy as they come. is what she has done for girls basketball in this state, both as a player and now as a coach. And she said, you know, I didn't know if I could translate what I knew as a player into being a good coach and teaching young women how to play the game, and I think it just proved it. If a third-place finish and a second-place finish don't already prove it, certainly today is a big night for Joyce Walker and her family and the Garfield Bulldog family. They are on top here today.
It's rewarding to see her win this championship, Elise, because last year, in a bitter defeat, she was classy. She was composed. And to see her handle the defeat the way she did last year, and to see her get a chance to taste this, is fun to see.
Well, she said these players have tested her and she has tested them. They're a group that was extremely disappointed last year in their second place finish, but they managed to get back to the top. And Snohomish last year disappointed in their loss in the semifinals. They made it to the final today, a tremendous upset of University yesterday. They finished the year 25-2. They lose their first game of the season and they lose their last game of the season, but what a tremendous season for Ken Roberts and the Snohomish Panthers. 6 seniors on this squad, an experienced bunch. And in perhaps the deepest tournament field in 4A that we've ever seen, they rose and managed to get all the way to the state title game before they just ran into a powerhouse in Garfield.
And remember, this Garfield team is loaded with juniors, sprinkled with sophomores. So that trophy may not be going anyplace for a while. Only one side gets a happy ending. And for Garfield, this year, they get that happy ending. Yeah, I mean, you could see Joyce Walker right now making sure that her Bulldogs are behaving themselves, that they win with class. They lost with class last year, and they are winning with class this year. And Joyce Walker is the reason why.
And Joyce Walker still talks about that championship she won as a player in 1980. And she still talks to her teammates from that group 25 years ago, and it is still a memory that they will never ever forget, and that is just what her team has earned right now, a lasting memory that they will have for the rest of their life.
Those teammates from that 1980 team called her this week just to remind her about the feeling they had back in 1980 when she averaged 38 points a game in leading Garfield to the championship. And for Malia O'Neill, a decision still to make. She'll be headed somewhere. You'll see her next year on television someplace. Let's check in with Brad Adam. Brad?
Yes, Garfield and Joyce Walker, you are #1. How does this one compare to the one you won back in 1980?
You know why this is sweeter for me? It's because I had a group of kids, and 3 years ago, we made a plan that if we worked hard, maybe we could put ourselves in this position. Last year, we got a taste of it. This year, I think this is an incredible feeling, and I'm so proud to be a leader of those Bulldogs.
You told us this afternoon that you wanted your team to experience this feeling of winning state. How has their lives changed? Do they even know what's in store for them?
I don't really think they have any clue, but I know this. This year, they came in different than the previous 2 years. They came in more focused, less chatter. They really worked, and they really earned this championship trophy.
They had to go to overtime to earn it. What was the difference in OT there? This one was down to the wire.
Well, you know, we kept hitting and missing. We get some momentum, and then we get in a hurry on offense, or we wouldn't help on defense. And I figured if we could just hang in and get it to overtime somehow, we might have a chance to turn it up. And you know what? Our two big seniors, Jamila Bates and Malia O'Neal, they sealed this one for us along with LaKel Pringle.
I was hanging out during the game on your sidelines, eavesdropping into the huddle. Thanks for not kicking me out. I appreciate that. Effort, a big thing that you emphasize. Effort, get back in the game, and effort won this game in overtime for your team.
I think there's no doubt about it. We were getting worked at every phase of the game. Let's give Snohomish a lot of credit. They came out loose. They slayed the big dragon last night, you know, in university. And so they had to come through and have another tough component, but they played well. But we kept hanging in there long enough until we could kind of exercise to get a couple runs going there.
I talked to your mom during the game, and I said that you told us you were the better cook.
Oh, you got me in trouble like that?
I didn't get you in trouble with Mama Walker.
Mom, I didn't say that.
We appreciate it. Enjoy this, and congratulations, Joyce. Player and coach, a great feat for you in Garfield. You're very welcome. Let's go to Rich and Elise, who have a special guest of their own.
Yeah, Samantha Tinnett, who had 14 points. You just heard your coach talk, Samantha, about the difference between this year and last year. You guys were on the other end of it last year. It was you guys who had the tears in your eyes. What was the difference when you showed up for practice in the fall of this year?
We knew how it felt, you know, just the tears, everything. I mean, today we even had tears, just tears of joy, though. And since day one of practice, you know, everybody knew how it felt. We really did not want to experience it again. There was a couple times during this game, you know, I had to check myself again, and like, you know, come on, man, we can do this, you know. And we just weren't gonna let it go.
You guys came in with all the pressure that you had that #1 ranking to start the year. You beat the second-ranked team in the nation. You had the one loss to Meadowdale, and then it's just been win after win after win until tonight. What was it like carrying that pressure around and yet still trying to win that state title that was just burning that passion to win it?
I think going down to Oakland playing Piedmont was real good for us, because after we beat them, we realized, you know, no one can stop us, because the #1 team in the nation only beat them by 2. We beat them by 5. As long as we bring our A game every game. We didn't bring our A game Meadowdale, and we knew if we didn't bring our A game, anything could happen. So we just worked hard on bringing our A game every game.
Samantha, can you tell us what it's like to play for Coach Walker? I mean, we get a chance to see her from the outside, but you certainly get a look from the inside.
It's a lot of fun playing for Joyce. Joyce is one of my favorite coaches I've ever had, along with Buck. And Buck's been through the program as well. But playing with Joyce, it's easy. It's good to listen to everything she says, because she's experienced it all. You know, everything that she's experienced is what we're trying to achieve, and we did this tonight for her and for Malia and Jamila.
With overtime.
Yeah.
Doesn't get any more high pressure than that.
No.
And you had 4 fouls, which always, you know, is the concern in the back of your mind. You want to be aggressive, but not too aggressive. What was your mindset and the whole team's mindset as you approached that overtime with the state title on the line?
Number 32 on her team, every time she got the ball, it seemed like she scored, hand in her face or not. So I just tried to just keep my hands straight up, and everyone else on the weak side tried to help. You know, I tried my best to stay with 3 fouls, but then they called that 4th, and I was forced to sit out for a long time. Sitting on the bench, I just kept telling myself I got to come back in and make a big impact. And my team did real good as soon as I came back in the game. We kept the intensity up, and I think we did a good job.
And now you get to think about defending it next year. Congratulations, and enjoy this one, and we'll see you back in this tournament next year.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's head back to Brad Adam.
Thank you. Here with Malia Bates as we await the crowning here. The net, put it on. Here we go for the interview. I guess it's better than the headband, right?
Yeah,
this is
way
nice.
better than the headband.
Describe the feeling from last year to this year.
I mean, just going out losing, I mean, you can't describe it. I just went back in the gym and worked so hard, and this is the moment I've been waiting for. Like, I'm so happy. Like, I'm overwhelmed right now. I don't know what to say.
Last year, a motivation, losing in the finals like you did to Roosevelt?
Definitely a motivation. I mean, we were expected to win last year, and I think we're expected to win this year, and I didn't want to repeat it last year. Like, I didn't want to take Snohomish lightly. They're a really good team. and I just want to come out on top.
Came out on top, second last year, first this year. Was that more difficult this year, you guys being the favorite all season long and entering the tournament, the #1 seed, everybody gunning for you?
Yeah, it's really difficult. Everybody's expecting you to blow teams out, just kill everybody. It's a lot funner being the underdogs, just coming out and play your game. It's a lot like more relaxed.
You get that championship trophy, send it back to Joyce Walker. It's got to be nice for you to give her another championship.
Yeah, Joyce has done so much for all of us. She brings so much to the table. All the media, everything Joyce just brings to the table. It's nice to get a little something back to her sometimes.
A great game, a great career. Look forward to seeing you wherever you go and play your college ball. Good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you. I love everybody. Bye.
I think that includes you, Rich and Elise.
Well, you know, Brad, they started this day, these Garfield Bulldogs, by eating at Joyce Walker's mom's house. They did it all week long. As long as they won, they kept going on there, and I suspect that they'll be back there either late tonight or tomorrow night, along with that hardware and that net to celebrate this championship.
Well, I just think there is nothing better than as a senior walking out the last game you're ever going to play in your high school career with the net around your neck and holding the trophy. It doesn't get any better than that. And for Malia O'Neal, who has tasted defeat, the third-place game and the second-place finish, and now all of a sudden as a senior, she ends it the way that she has been dreaming about forever. And there's nothing better. Her high school career is completed for her.
You know, the one thing I'll take away from the finish of this is the way Joyce Walker handled victory. She made sure her team didn't jump around too much. She made sure nobody rubbed it in the nose of Snohomish. She was classy when they lost a heartbreaker last year, and she was classy in victory this year.
Well, I don't think there's any question where Joyce Walker belongs when you talk about great players and when you talk about great coaches. And she certainly didn't become a great coach tonight because she won a state title. The difference she has made in all those girls' lives has been fantastic. You see, you know, the reaction from parents and fans. They love Joyce Walker. She is an absolute legend in the community, not only with Garfield, but the entire Seattle community. And I just think it's wonderful that all of her hard work and her willingness to come back and just put her feet in and just get in with the high school scene once again and to make a difference is, you know, a credit to her and what she's all about as a person. She's a phenomenal, classy lady.
All right. Well, that's it.
And now she's all wet.
Yes, she is. Joyce Walker will take it. A shower in victory. And
it's a good thing she doesn't have to worry about doing that hair. She says, that's why I keep it short. So
and that concludes our coverage of the girls 4A championship. And Garfield has won it as they beat Snohomish. And you talked about at the start of this how deep this tournament is and how deep the draw was. And I think it was reflected in the quality of play. This is one of the better girls championship games than you and I have been able to broadcast.
Oh, I think no question. When you look at the talent on both sides of the floor, there's 4, 5, 6 different players that can score on any possession. And a lot of times in the past, it hasn't been like that. I think not only these two teams, but this tournament, the level of play in high school is rising. You can see it every single year. And this year, there was so much talent. I think there's no question when you talk to all the coaches here at the tournament, they'll tell you this is the best tournament they've been a part of.
All right. Well, that's just half of our show here tonight from the Tacoma Dome. The boys championship coming up momentarily. Right now, the Garfield Bulldogs are celebrating. Snohomish, winners last night. They upset University. They got off to a quick start in this one. Garfield came back, tied it. On to overtime they went. And in overtime, Joyce Walker finally gets her championship. The Bulldogs came so close last year. This year, they are state champions. That championship season feeling belongs to Joyce Walker. We've got the boys championship coming up from the Tacoma Dome. We're headed back to the studio after this timeout.